Today's video is a compilation of videos that I filmed way back in 2017 when I did a project called 50 Days of Harvest, and this video are days 26 through to 50. So my harvest to date, well, it's been very simple actually. It's been a bucket full of the Prince green beans, and they weighed in at £4, and it's got really mighty windy now. Maybe not as windy as other places in the world right at the moment, but it's still pretty windy for us. Look at the ducks. Yes, so I got those, and I gathered in some tomatoes from the greenhouse, so that was another £3 of tomatoes, and that's pretty much all I've done today, because I've been making up wine from the fruit that I've prepared previously, and so we've got some pink apple and plum wine on the go, and some more of the marrow and apple and ginger wine. Today's harvest has been, and I've written it down because I can't remember, 12 ounces of raspberries, and there's still more to come on those plants, so I'm really pleased about that. 2 pounds of tomatoes, 3 pounds of the Prince green beans. So those are the dwarf beans. In one of the beds I'd grown 3 different types of dwarf beans, and these are the green beans, and they've just got the most amazing taste, so very pleased that there was another 3 pounds of those. And this rather fabulous squash weighed in at a fraction under £4. While I was at the far end of the garden getting the squash, I noticed that our cauliflowers, well, they've actually got cauliflowers in the plants. Hurrah! But something's gone wrong. Something's gone very wrong, because although they've formed nice cauliflower heads, they're mushy in the middle, and they've got slugs all over them, and well, they've very obviously been eaten. So not a single one has survived. They're all, you can see they've had all their little florets nibbled off them, and the middles are mushy. Now I'm going to hazard a guess this is because I haven't bent the leaves over the heads, which I have a feeling you are supposed to do to protect them from the rain, which would explain the mushiness in the centre of them. And I'm just guessing that the slugs have had an absolute field day and eaten all the little florets, and just left me with a solid lump of yuck. If I peel back the leaves, and of course I'm trying to do this one-handed, but if I peel the leaves back, you can see, so this is what the cauliflower should look like. Sans slug, but you know, I don't know, there might be enough there just to take the little bits that are covered, and if I take that from all the cauliflowers, there might be enough there for one meal. Oh, it's very sad. So I guess that's a lesson learnt. Next year I am going to grow cauliflowers next year, but I'm going to grow them in a row, in a bed on their own, where I can keep a very close eye on them, and put down lots of slug traps made from beer, and try and keep the slugs off them. And I'm also going to bend the leaves over them at the first sign that they're growing a cauliflower head, to keep the rain off them. And I feel silly for not having done that, but you know, live and learn. And the sunshine on this apple tree is just delightful. Now while we're out here, I want to show you the pear tree. Wow, I've been so surprised. Now this is the pear tree that gave us one solitary pear last year, just one, and then I I read up a bit and I decided what really needed to do is I needed to prune the tree quite hard, and there were a lot of branches that were crossing over and touching each other and congesting the middle of the plant. So I gave it a fairly severe prune. And this year it has rewarded that pruning with a few pears. So this is the pear tree that has two different types of pears on it. So one there and one here. And these are not little pears. These are the size of my hand. They are huge. Now they're still, I would say they're not quite right. There's just a tiny bit of give in them. So not long though, another few days, and I think these will be ready. But look, there are just so many of them. I'm delighted. And there's more up there and over there. And you know, this tree has got, I mean, it's not gazillions, but you know, these are a good sized pear. This is no trick photography. So they are sort of 4.5, 5 inches high, and they're fat. And obviously all the rain that we've had has been really good for them. Today's harvest is going to be a very simple one. It's 5.5 pounds of corn that I've already harvested, and I'm also going to harvest some beetroot. Well, while it's still so blowy and rainy outside, I've been in the kitchen most of the morning, and I've been chopping and preparing and storing in various different ways today's harvest, which is, here's my little list, 3.25 pounds of marrows and 12 pounds of apples, and I've used all of those to go into buckets to make some more wine, and all the cores and the peelings have all been used in the bucket that is making the apple cider vinegar. It's a blustery day, but sun has been out, and it's been a really good day, a very positive one. Yeah, the ducks are saying hello. So today I have I've just been tackling jobs gently today. Got a poorly chicken, she's in the kitchen, or she has been in the kitchen overnight, and this afternoon I've put her in the front garden just to let her be outside a bit, have some fresh air. She's looking a bit better now, but I'm not putting her back in with the other chickens until I'm sure she's not going to give them anything. But I've been doing some work out in the food forest area. I have got down more wood chippings going along here, which I'm really pleased with. And I've spent a bit of time sitting on my little yellow stool, just watching the world. And I've spent a lot of time just picking stuff up and just putting it away where it belongs, because I'm a great one for putting stuff down with the idea that I'll put it away later, and then I never do. But I think we can all be a bit prone to that sometimes. And the other thing I've done is to take down the last of the bean canes from the Balotti beans, which were here. So this had the climbing Balotti beans all through this bed, and I finally got the last of the canes down, and for now I'm storing them in a pallet. And here's another one of those I'll put it away at some point jobs. At some point I'll tie them together and I'll go and put them away in the piggery for the winter. The beautiful blue skies we had this morning are starting to look a little more ominous, and I suspect there might be a bit of rain on the way. See, beautiful blue skies, and then these kind of slightly angry clouds. And literally the moment I said that, I started feeling the rain spots, so I'm heading indoors I will plant the kale later on, I'll plant the onions later on if it stops raining, but in the meantime I'm going to go and get on with the beans and get those chopped up and blanched and into the freezer. I'm beginning to feel like I spend quite a lot of my life standing here chopping at beans, but I'm going to be so pleased when they're all done, and I'm going to be so pleased in the middle of winter when we have got fresh tasting beans straight from the freezer onto our plate, and to know that they've come from the garden will just feel fabulous. But this is not this is really not a terribly exciting job either to do nor to watch, so I'm going to carry on with this, and before this video goes up online I will make sure I've put the total amount that I have got into the freezer together with the other things I've harvested today, and the total will be up on the screen as usual. Well, we've got to Abergavenny to go to the food festival. We have no idea where we're going next, and so it's a quick walk round, and we've got a good hour and a half before I'm talking anyway, because I wanted to be able to have a look around the farmyard, have a look around the festival. One of the things I don't enjoy so much about leaving our homestead is the sheer volume of people everywhere, and I've got really quite appreciative of the peace and quiet at home, and though it's lovely, it is lovely to see other people just en masse, it gets a bit much. So early this morning I got up and did the birds as usual, and then I decided I actually had enough energy to get the onions into the bed where the beans used to be, as I had promised myself I would do. So I weeded the few perennial weeds from around the edge of the bed, and at the near end here I've put 25 red onions, and then down that side there's a variety called Radar, and on this side is a variety called Troy. But I still had plenty of onion sets left, so I then decided that the best place to put a few more would be around the raspberries, because the onions should come up and do their thing long before the raspberries grow enough to block the sunlight out from them. So around the edge of the raspberries are the little, here we go, little red onions, and they're just waiting for me to cover them over now. But they go all the way along the edge on this side, and round the end, and a few on that side. And now I'm going to get the last of the Troy and the Radar onions in this bed too. And so today's harvest was very simple. It was 2 more of the pink jumbo squashes, or are they pink jumbo banana squashes? I don't know. They're big, and they turn pink and they look like bananas. And they came to just over 11 pounds in weight. So yesterday evening, after I had finished filming my vlog, we spotted on a local sales page that somebody very local was selling a freezer, and it's probably about 3 weeks, maybe a month since we got our new freezer, but it took me 2 days to fill it up with beans and fruit. So we thought if we got another freezer, then as time goes on and we use enough food to empty one freezer, we can switch that off until next year when we want to replenish it with our harvest. Because I wasn't super keen on having a big freezer running all year round. I think it's better to have some smaller ones and switch them off, and it will make me move food from one freezer to another, and make sure that I'm rotating food properly. So somebody very local was advertising it's about 5 feet high freezer, 5 foot high, and it's, you know, it's not hugely wide, but 18 inches wide, something like that. 5 drawers in the freezer, upright freezer, superb, £30, bargain. So off we went and we bought that. No worries, we bought that without really any qualms at all, because For £30 for a spare freezer, you know, it's great, isn't it? So so that is the joy of social media and selling sites that are, you know, of your local area. You can see something advertised and it can be in your house within a couple of hours. Today seems to be another one of those days where the day is running away with me. I'm not quite sure what I've done all day, but it's now 5:20 in the evening, and for the life of me I couldn't really tell you what I've done, except I seem to spend a lot of time in the kitchen chopping up vegetables and yeah, I'm not sure what else I've done. I've been in the garden and I've done the chickens and all the domestic chores and things like that. So a couple of things have happened. My neighbour Sue, who lives across the way, all my neighbours live across the way. They all live across the field because there's 3 houses in this little group here, and then there are more small holdings on the other side of the field. So Sue lives on the other side of the field. Anyway, Sue from across the way has arrived with 2 tubs of apples. Oh, and these are beautiful. She's picked these off her tree today. So there's the odd one with a slight bruise on it, but most of them are just, look at this. You know, there's a tiny little growing blemish there. And that's fine, we'll eat this. I've been through this, just the top layer. I've pulled out 6 pounds of eating apples and stored them in the barn, and then these ones, well, this particular one is going to get eaten for supper in our carrot and apple salad with supper, but it looks like I've got a bit more chopping and grating to do to get these ones stored away in the freezer. But right now, looks like Monty and Tabitha are going to join me inside. Come on then, cats. In we go. There we go. Come on then. Monty, are you coming as well? Good boy. Look at that. My poor starving ducks. Like my greedy ducks, it's more like it. They've actually spent most of the day foraging in the ground for slugs and worms and snails and all the other things that they like to eat. I was looking online last night at where the UK is, or more to the point, sort of where we are in comparison to places in the USA. Well, the answer is we're not. We are far enough north in our latitude on the globe that the whole of the United Kingdom sits in Canada. Well, obviously not in Canada, but above the Canadian border. So, which would explain why when I watch vlogs from America, I have a little bit of envy over their ability to grow things that grow in a slightly warmer climate. But we don't actually have the climate of a country that has the same latitude as Canada, because luckily we are warmed by the Gulf Stream, and that is it's a body of water that comes up from, and I think it's the Gulf of Mexico, travels across the Atlantic and very nicely whooshes up the Bristol Channel and around the south coast of Britain, and because it's just the body of water is just that little bit warmer, it warms the air, and therefore our climate is a bit kinder than it might be. But today is autumn. definitely. And so today's harvest is very simple. I'm just going to take this it's a lovely big jumbo pink banana squash, and also a squash from the far end of the garden. Oh, I haven't quite caught that enough. There we go. Oh, that's a good size. I'm going to take it in and weigh that. And then down at the opposite end of the garden, at the far end of the garden, I'm going to take the spaghetti squash that we looked at the other day before yesterday, and take that in and get that ripened and stored away. That's looking pretty good. Now I have also picked quite a lot of raspberries today, but they may have all been consumed already and none of them have been stored. So Mr. J and I have both had some fresh raspberries, which I just love raspberries, I really do. So they were great, and now it's time for me to head indoors. And I thought that today I would pick some of the apples from one of the trees in our orchard, our mini orchard in the front garden. This poor old apple tree has had it's a black spot, and I suspect it's got scab or something else. Anyway, they're not great apples, but they will be fine for juicing, and they may well be fine for cooking as well. Oh, I'm pretty pleased with that lot. They look very nice. And it also looks like some of the pears are ready. So this is the tree with the two different types of pear on it, and they are enormous pears. But I have noticed that some have fallen on the floor, which would imply that they're very much ready. So the ones that I've picked will get checked over, because obviously we don't want to store things like that, but I can cut that out and use the rest of the pear. So they'll get checked over. Oh, I'm properly delighted, look at these. So we've got quite a few pears to dry a little bit. It's just to get the moisture off their skin, and then they're going to go into the fridge to store. And then obviously the ones with slight blemishes on like these will be the first to be brought out of the fridge and eaten. And then in this bag, this is £5 of a mixture of the Williams and the Conference pears, and these are the ones that have had they've got nibbles and marks, and they're the windfall ones, and I've tied them into this bag loosely, so although there's a knot in the top for me to carry it, there is a ventilation gap at the top, and they're in there with a banana that's ripening, because as far as I know, and as I understand, the gases given off by bananas as they're ripening will ripen other fruit, which means these ones will ripen faster, and because these are damaged ones and windfall ones, I'm going to make some wine with them. I've let the little chicks out for their afternoon run and they're having a lovely time. And I've been joined by Monty. Oh, Monty boy. Oh, is life good? Is it? Oh, look at you, you're so lovely. And I've hardly been outside at all today. I let the birds out first thing this morning and then headed indoors to do some tidying up. And you know what it's like, you know, when you start and you do one thing and that means you need to do something else, which means you need to do another thing, and then all of a sudden you're doing 5 things to just be able to put away one thing. Anyway, it was one of those days. So now I'm out here and it's time to let the little chicks out for a run, and then to check that all the other birds have got food and water, and that they're all happy and healthy. Today's harvest, there's some tomatoes and some raspberries, and I'm also going to lift one of the Savoy cabbages and get that frozen so that we can have that, and it's quick and ready to pull out the freezer on a day when it's very wet and windy and I don't want to be fighting outside to get the vegetables. Now, you may have noticed that I've been getting very close to my target of £750 of food harvested and stored away in the last 48 days. Anyway, it was a 50 days of harvest project that I was doing, and I had got very, very close a couple of days ago, and today I have surpassed the £750 of food harvested mark, and I can't tell you how delighted I am. I am very chuffed, and I'm very proud, and I'm very pleased, and all of those things, but it doesn't stop here. I will do my 50 days of harvesting, so tomorrow and the next day I will still harvest at least £5 a day, and of course it doesn't stop after that, but very nice to have got to that £750 target. Today's harvest includes £7 of pears, which are now just about to go into the fridge to be stored. These few windfalls, which I'm going to just stew up all together, get those into the freezer, and another £1 of eating apples, which will be stored in the barn. And I also lifted the first 3 parsnips of the year, and they're huge. Well, we ate 2 of them, and the third one was mashed and put into the freezer. It's day 50. I have come to the end of my 50 days of harvest project, and it's been quite a long time. I didn't really know when I started just how long 50 days would feel. I know how long 50 days are, but it feels like it's been going on for quite a lot longer. Anyway, what an amazing time. I started out aiming to harvest at least £5 a day, and after a week or so I realised that actually a target of £250 over 50 days was unrealistic, because I was going to get to there quite quickly. So I doubled it up to 500, and after a little while I increased it again. So my target became £750 in 50 days, and 2 or 3 days ago I surpassed that, and I actually can't explain to you how exciting it is, or how comforting it is to know that we've got that much food stored away for us over the winter. So today's harvest has, as you can imagine, been a bit of a bumper one, because I just wanted to have harvested as much as I could have for today. So £20 of winter squashes, 2 small Japanesey type squashes, and a slightly larger one, and this is a blue Hubbard, a spaghetti squash, a something I don't know what it is, but it looks nice. And another Turk's turban type squash. 3 pounds of tomatoes, 3 pounds of Greek gigantes beans that were completely depodded and blanched and popped in bags to go into the freezer. And that took my total up to 793, and I thought I'd make it neat and tidy, so I have just spent a nice half hour or so chopping up a final 7 pounds of apples to get into the freezer as stewed apples, and that takes my total up to 800 pounds. 800 pounds of food harvested in 50 days.
So, hello. 800 pounds of food in 50 days.
Yep.
Against a target of 750 pounds of food in 50 days. It's a grand total of 106%. So let me present you with the cup.
Hey.
Well done.
Thank you. Tea.
I know the way to a woman's heart. This woman's anyway.
Yay. Yeah, it's been poor old Mr. J has had to put up with the kitchen being, well, like a processing
plant.
And that's not going to it's not going to stop, it's just going to slow down now, isn't it? There's still quite a lot left to harvest this year, but it doesn't need to come in now. The winter crops can stay in the ground over the winter because they're frost hardy, and we'll just harvest them as we need them. So there's an awful lot still to go, actually. Purple sprouting broccoli and cabbages. There are over 200 leeks. There's a large bed of parsnips, Cavolo de Nero kale and Savoy cabbages. There are the fabulous white kidney beans from inside the runner beans. Some of these are well over a foot long. There's more purple sprouting broccoli, January king cabbages, spring greens, all the Greek gigantes beans that fell over in the wind, some herb seeds and leaves. We're very pleased.
Yes.
And I'm very excited to know that
we won't starve.
No, we won't. Yeah, which is, actually that's a really important thing. And so, wherever you are in the world and whatever you've been up to today, I hope it's been a good one for you, and I also hope you can join me again when we come back.